I'd like you to get something through your thick skulls.
Phase 1 is a go.
Please subscribe to our channel. Winston's entire life had been turned upside down in the very first episode of the Continental, after his brother Frankie had been killed by the twins. He just wanted revenge, but first, he had to resurrect an army and see if they had enough resources to go after Cormac. The coin press was still missing, though Cormac was very sure that Winston had it with him. The High Table, as of now, just wanted to be onlookers, and they didn't want to meddle in things and see how everything panned out. Cormac wanted to get the better of Winston, and the Dark Horse hoped to turn the tides in his favor and take revenge for his brother's death. So, let's find out if Winston is able to take over the Continental Hotel and defeat Cormac, or if the latter was able to procure the coin press and save his empire. Winston was planning with his team how they would go and take over the armory room in the Continental Hotel, but before he could initiate the plan, Cormac's men came and abducted him. Winston had told the others that Maisie, the Bowery Queen, was with them and that they wouldn't have a shortage of manpower in the war. Jenkins was already in the building opposite the Continental, and he made sure he was there to back up Winston and his team when the time arrived. Jenkins shot Cormac's men who were holding Winston, and that's when Cormac realized that he had probably underestimated the kind of planning Winston was capable of doing. That was the moment when Sharon picked up a gun and pointed it at him, and Cormac got to know that he was no longer his loyal soldier and that his allegiance had changed. Cormac was shocked, but he had no option other than to escape from there and go to a place that only he could access. Cormac went and hid in the operations room, as no one apart from the manager knew where that room was located inside the Continental. Things might not have happened according to plan, but Winston was relieved to know that Sharon had chosen to be on his side. He assured Sharon that he would repay him fully and make him meet his father. Apart from Sharon, even Maisie had agreed to fight from Winston's side, though now he had to reassess and improvise and hope that the others acted according to the plan. There was carnage inside the Continental Hotel, and somehow Winston had been able to survive, primarily due to Sharon having his back at all times. Lou and Miles were able to kill Hansel, one of the twins, though there was a time when they felt like he would kill them both. Hansel was an accomplished fighter, just like his sister, who was having a face-off with Yen on the terrace of the hotel. The twins were infallible, and it took Lou to break her vow of never holding a gun in her hand to kill him. The battle with Gretel was personal for Yen, as she wanted to avenge the death of Frankie. Yen killed the girl while Lou shot Hansel to death, and after the defeat of such formidable opponents, they knew that it wasn't long before they took over the Continental Hotel. Now, Cormac had been able to go to the operations room, and he started the countdown to denote the entire hotel, as he knew that there was no other way. The location of the operations room wasn't known to all, and only the manager, apart from the operator whose job it was to monitor things, had access to that place. When Winston and Sharon reached there after figuring out how to do that, they realized that they would have to do something, otherwise, the entire place would be reduced to rubble. Cormac was trying to escape from the underground tunnels, but Winston caught him just at the right time. Before Winston could do anything to him, KD came from behind, and she shot Cormac point blank. KD had overheard the conversation where Cormac accepted that it was he who had ordered Frankie to burn that house, even when he knew that the family was present inside. KD realized that the real perpetrator was Cormac and not the Scott brothers. Winston then rushed to the operation room, and he used the severed hand of the operator, Connor, to scan the biometrics and stop the countdown. The Continental wasn't destroyed, and there was a new manager who was going to change how things were down there. Unfortunately, Lemmy died a painful death, and though he wasn't there for the celebration, he made sure that he did everything that he could to make Winston win the battle. During the Continental's ending, the adjudicator came to meet Winston and told him that she was the one who had stopped the detonation. She tells Winston that he was not authorized to be the manager of the hotel and asks him how he had achieved that feat and where that priceless coin press was, because of which this entire battle had started. Winston had got that coin press in the trunk of a car parked in Charlie's dump yard, and then he gave it to Maisie because he knew that it was the only place that could be out of the reach of the high table. The adjudicator said that the high table wasn't going to deal with him as he was a nobody, and he would have to vacate the hotel premises sooner rather than later. Winston, in a surprising turn of events at the end of the Continental, shot the adjudicator and told her assistant to take her body back to his masters. Winston knew that the odds were in his favor, and as long as he had the coin press, the high table would be coerced to make a deal with him. That coin press was used to produce coins that the visitors presented to the receptionist in the Continental, after which they were allowed entry. Sharon decided to stay back, and he told Winston that the Continental was his home, even when Winston gave him the option of going and meeting his father. This was the dawn of a new era, and Winston Scott knew that he was not going to go anywhere from there. The high table would have to strike a deal with Winston eventually, and as history tells us, the Continental would be managed by Winston Scott. Probably, if there is season 2 of the Continental, we will get to witness how the high table finally realizes that they would have to make a deal with Winston as he had leverage over them. We had seen John Wick strike a similar sort of deal with the high table on many occasions, and through that, we came to know one thing: though the high table seemed rigid, there were times when the odds did not favor them, and they were ready to be a bit flexible and bend the rules in some of the rarest of the rare cases. So that's the Continental Season 1 Episode 3 recap, Theater of Pain ending explained. I hope you like this video. Please leave a comment and subscribe to this channel. See you in another video. Bye.